All right, guys, it is our Arkansas preview show. Thanks for joining us live. All right, Saturday, November 4th at noon, we are taking on the Arkansas Razorbacks in Gainesville at the Swamp. Tonight, I am joined by Josh Teeter. Josh is an Arkansas super fan and owner of Red Cup News. Okay, Josh, for those of us that don't know, what is Red Cup News?
Yeah, so it basically started off as an NBA draft page, quickly worked its way into the college life, kind of like Barstool Sports. We cover college football, where I go around the country doing tailgate interviews. We have other kids doing tailgate interviews, and it's spread all across pretty much the country. I think we have over 45 ambassadors at different schools just showing the college life and college sports.
Okay, so are you going to Gainesville this weekend? Will you be at this game?
I may sound like a fake fan, but I'm tapped out on Arkansas football for the year. I'm into basketball on Monday, so no, I won't be making.
Where are some other schools that you guys will have ambassadors at this weekend then?
I don't know exactly. There's so many kids, but we have kids that do interviews at Georgia. Florida State is one of our main schools. We actually have a guy that just went viral there. He holds a goldfish everywhere he goes in the student section, and he's really well known for that. And it's been on ESPN and stuff. LSU, we're all across the SEC. A lot of Big Ten, a lot of Big 12 schools. So just to those schools, there'll probably be about 5 interviews this weekend.
Well, we're going to have to meet up one of these games for sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Arkansas, Florida. Arkansas's kind of had a rough go of it this year. They're 2-6, but a lot of really, really close games. They have a new offensive coordinator. What's the mood of the fan base right now?
I think a lot of us are pretty upset with the way that the season's gone so far this year, especially me. Growing up an Arkansas fan, we've never been great. When Sam Pittman first got here, we saw an incline, steep decline now. So a lot of the Arkansas fans are pretty upset. A lot of us want Pittman gone after this year. But I'm excited to see what we do under Kenny Guyton. Happy we pushed Dan Enos out, which very quickly we pushed Dan Enos out. He's only here for 8 games. So Kenny Guyton's in control now. So curious to see what offensively.
So, 3-point loss to Bama, 3-point loss to LSU. I know that moral victories suck, but does it give you some kind of confidence heading into the UF matchup that you could play those powerhouses that close?
Yeah, kind of, I guess. Our defense has played really well this year. Our offense just worries me so much. KJ Jefferson has declined so much this year, passing the ball. And so I don't think we're going to win. All year it's been lose by a touchdown or less. I'm expecting us. I like the line at 5.5. I think it'll be a 5 to 8 point game, but I think we'll lose. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we can pull out a win finally.
You mentioned that KJ Jefferson has regressed. Obviously, he has not lived up to expectations this season. What do you think the number one issue is with him, though? Because he really is a talented player.
Yeah, 100%. I talk to my friends about this all the time, and I don't think there's one thing you can really nail down and say this is the main issue. I think Dan Enos coming in, changing the offense has a lot to do with it. Kendall Briles, that system is way different than what Dan Enos was running while he was here. So I think that's a big part of it. Our offensive line also is not good at all. So I think he's worried about maybe getting sacked, getting injured. And, he's spiking all of his throws this year. He's had guys wide open, but he's just not making good throws. His reads are slow. So I don't know. I think it's a mixture of about 2 or 3 different things, and it's just hurting him, and his overall draft stock has plummeted this year.
Is it surprising that a Sam Pittman coach team has a struggling offensive line?
Yeah, very much so, because, he was an offensive line coach for, I think, over 20 years. And so coming here, his first head coaching job was here. You would think the one thing that would really be good was his offensive line. But him and Cody Kennedy have proved that it just hasn't happened. He's been here 4 years now, and our offensive line is the worst it has been. I'm expecting to see our offensive line coach, Cody Kennedy, out the door after this season as well.
UF has a pretty good rushing attack when it can get going. They certainly want to run the ball and establish the pass with Mertz. What are your thoughts on Arkansas's front 7 on defense? Is Florida going to be able to run the ball?
I don't think they'll be able to run the ball that well. Some of our tackling kind of worries me at points, but I feel like overall stopping the run game this year, we've done a pretty good job. The one thing that I think has hurt our defense this year so far is our offense goes out there. It's a quick 3-and-out. The defense is right back on the field. So by the third, fourth quarter, if y'all run the ball the whole game, I think we'll be tired and you'll be able to find some holes in the late game.
What do you think worries Arkansas the very most about this Florida team?
I mean, I would think we're probably just most worried about our offense, to be completely honest with you, because of how bad we've been. I'm not for sure statistically how good Florida's defense is, but just how bad we've been offensively. First game under Kenny Guiden, I think that's probably what we're worried about the most.
What do you think UF fans should be the most concerned about with this Arkansas team?
Yeah, definitely our defense. I don't think they have anything to worry about offensively. I don't think Rocket Sanders will be back this week. KJ Jefferson's struggling, like I said, new OC. Defense has performed pretty well this year. We've taken a big step up. And honestly, the number one thing this year that Arkansas is best at is kicking the football through the goalpost. Cam Little is our best player on the team this year. He's our kicker. He's a stud. So if we get inside the 35, at least we'll be able to get 3 points on you.
Well, that was going to be my next question is tell me some players for us to keep an eye on. So outside of your kicker, what are some names you think we're going to hear on Saturday?
We'll be hearing a lot of Max Fletcher, who's our punter, because we can't move the ball very well, and he's a good punter. Outside of that, Ty Washington is a good tight end who's really emerged this year after Luke Hasz, our starter, has gone out. I mean, KJ Jefferson, I guess, that's the lead of the team, but he hasn't done much this year. So I think you really need to be looking at Ty Washington to be catching the ball as our primary probably target at tight end. And then TeSlaa is a good wide receiver for us. And then KJ, I guess. I'm just so worried about our offense that really scares me.
So this is your last road game of the season, right? You guys head back to Arkansas to finish up. If you're looking ahead at the rest of the schedule, where do you think Arkansas finishes record-wise?
Honestly, 3-9 or 4-8. I'm really not high on our team this year. I think we'll beat FIU. They aren't good at all. I think we lose to Florida. I think the Auburn game's a toss-up back home. And then I think Missouri comes into Fayetteville and beats us by 14. We've always struggled with Missouri, though, so I think they'll get us again.
We all always struggle with Missouri. I don't know what it is, but it's such an interesting situation to know that this is an Arkansas team that's going to play their opponent incredibly tough, but just can't get over the hump. But there has to be some talent there if you're able to take Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State truly down to the wire. So what do you think is missing? What is it that Arkansas needs to just put them over the hump, so to speak?
Yeah, I think our offensive line needs to block a lot better. We've given up a lot of sacks this year. I think KJ overall needs to play better. He's had more interceptions already this year than he did last year. I think he's almost had double the interceptions. I think he has 6 or 7 already this year, and he only had 3 or 4 last year. The defense, if it can stay how it is, it keeps the Hogs in the game. But our offense hasn't been able to capitalize all season long. So I really think if we want to come in Saturday and pull off the win, we're going to need a good performance by KJ, our offensive line, and we need the running back room to run a little bit better. But I also think that correlates with the offensive line not blocking well.
All right, moment of truth. Give me your score prediction for Saturday.
It's going to be low scoring, I think. I'm going to go 23-17 Florida. That hits the under, and Arkansas just covers the 5.5 point spread, right? Or y'all would cover the 5.5 point spread right there.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me. Thanks for coming on. I want you to let everybody know where they can find your content, where they can follow you on social media, where they can follow other Red Cup, ambassadors.
Yes, of course. So my Twitter, which is what I mainly use nowadays, Josh Teeter01 is where you'll find me there. Red Cup News is our main Instagram. You can find tailgate interviews, same handle over on TikTok. And we have a Red Cup Florida page. I think it's Red Cup UF. And I also run Red Cup Arkansas as well, and then Red Cup SEC. So.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Before I let you go, do you know anything about the veteran appreciation that's going on in the stadium on Saturday?
I saw y'all were wearing all black, right? Is that
Yeah.
a part of that?
Yes. So Florida is wearing all black jerseys. And on the back, instead of names, there's going to be little, kind of words that mean things, honor, loyalty, things like that are going to be on the back of the jerseys. And the jerseys after the game will be auctioned off, and the money will be donated to veterans organizations.
That's really cool. That's something I feel like, as well as Arkansas, like we've never done anything like that. I probably just sound like a gripe right now. I'm just football season has me checked out. I'm ready for hoops, like I said. But that's awesome that y'all are doing it. But Arkansas like never does anything cool like that. So I'm really hoping with some like y'all doing that, other schools could follow because that's a great cause, and it's really neat to see.
All right. Well, I appreciate you for coming on, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you.
No problem. All right, guys. Whew, I just got mammed. I don't even know what to say about that. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button. You can also support the show with a super chat. We're going to talk more about this game. But before we do that, and not enough of you guys have joined me over on the Prize Picks app. Super easy. Prize Picks, download it, use my code. It's PEEK. That's PEEK. You get 100% match if you deposit up to $100. So if you deposit $100, you get another $100. You got $200 to play in there. Maybe you can make yourself some money. If you're already on there, make another account. That way you can use the code and get that bonus. And it is so fun. So like this weekend, I like ETN to get a touchdown. And then I might pair it with more on Jaden Daniels passing yardage, something like that. This week's totals are listed. So go get on the app. Let's make some money. Again, PEEK on the Prize Picks app. PEEK. Good luck this weekend. All right, let's talk about this matchup. Josh did not seem particularly high on Arkansas. I personally think this is going to be a little bit more of a battle than I think Josh maybe thinks it's going to be. The line on this game is 5.5. Florida leads the series 10-2. They're also 5-0 in the Swamp. The last time that Florida played the Razorbacks was in 2020. This is a big game, guys. This is really important. There are 4 games left on Florida's schedule: Arkansas, LSU, Missouri, and Florida State. Florida needs at least one of those to become bowl eligible. If I'm looking at those 4, this is the game that I think Florida is most likely to win. That doesn't mean the Gators don't have a shot in each of the next 4, because they do. But percentage-wise, this has got to be the best odds for Florida to get bowl eligible. That would make it the second consecutive bowl team for Billy Napier. I think that's huge. And like I said, LSU, they're sitting at 13. Missouri's sitting at 14. Florida State's 4, and potentially will be even higher than that by the time Florida plays them. So they really need to get that 6th win against the Razorbacks. And Arkansas's lost 6 in a row. And like we mentioned with Josh, 5 of those have been by 7 points or less. This is a tough team. I get it. 2-6. You're thinking it's a gimme game. Arkansas is pretty down on themselves. But this is a tough team. You don't play LSU to within 3 points and Alabama to within 3 points without having some talent on that roster. There is some key matchups that I'm going to be paying attention to. And I think more than anything, it's Arkansas's offense versus Florida's defense. If I'm going to pick a word to describe Arkansas's offense, I'm probably going to go with anemic. Stats aren't great. Haven't scored a lot of points. They're not very good this year. KJ Jefferson has been a disappointment. But guess what? Florida's defense, if I was going to pick one word to describe them, I'm probably going with porous. Okay? So this is going to be an interesting matchup. Arkansas's anemic offense, Florida's porous defense. The Razorbacks rank 122nd in the nation and last in the SEC in total offense. They average 305.9 yards a game. Coach Sam Pittman fired offensive coordinator Dan Enos, which is what we just talked about with Josh. He fired him after they lost 7-3 to Mississippi State on October 21st. And then he turned the play calling duties over to receivers coach Kenny Guyton. So we are going to see what Guyton can do. It's very interesting to, this is very early on in his OC tenureship. So we don't have a whole lot of data about what to expect. The Gators defense, on the other hand, though, is giving up 406 yards and 32 points a game over their last 4 games. They're also going to be without Shamar James, who is currently the Gators' leading tackler. He had season-ending knee surgery on Wednesday. We definitely send out our thoughts and prayers to him. We want him to hurry up and get better so he can come back and have an impact next season for us. But we can't act like that is not a massive loss, because it absolutely is. And this is a defense that really, honestly, hasn't played well enough that they can afford losses to their leading tackler. Let's talk a little bit about some players to watch. Josh hit on some of these. I am going to be paying very close attention to Raheem Sanders. His nickname is The Rocket. He was a preseason All-American, and he just came back to practice this week. We don't know 100% whether he's going to be back on the field on Saturday, but I know that Razorback fans are hopeful. He is from Florida. He's 170 miles. We're just 170 miles north of his hometown when we're in Gainesville. He is from South Florida. He wants to play in front of his hometown people. He ran for 1,443 yards and 10 touchdowns last season. He's only played in 3 games so far this year because of this knee injury. So if the Razorbacks get him back, that could be a huge shot in the arm for an offense that hasn't been very good. But Rocket Sanders is incredibly talented. So, maybe that really improves them. For Florida, I think all eyes are going to once again be on Trey Wilson. He has 25 catches for 222 yards and 2 touchdowns in his last 3 games. He had a career best 11 receptions against Georgia last Saturday. He's becoming one of the team's top playmakers. And I did a video on this earlier this week. If you listen to Kirby Smart's postgame press conference, he mentions Trey Wilson by name. He talks about the fact that he was incredibly difficult for Georgia to stop. He, in fact, didn't think they did a very good job of it at all. And, career best 11 receptions, obviously that's the case. He had over 100 yards. Florida's offense is better when Trey Wilson is in the game. Florida's offense is better when he is getting the ball. I think that one of the things that Billy Napier should be most focused on is getting the ball in the hands of Trey Wilson, because it moves the sticks for Florida. Our offense is different when he's in the game. So hopefully he will be involved early and often. Some interesting notes on the game. Like we mentioned to Josh, Arkansas is playing their final road game of the season. So they get to come home for the remaining 4 games. New offensive coordinator Kenny Guyton was a quarterback at Ohio State from 2010 to 2013. So if that name's familiar to you, that is why. He was their wide receivers coach. He has also served as a wide receivers coach at Colorado State, at Louisiana Tech, and at Houston. And he is a talented young coach that is a name that was on a lot of people's hot boards prior to getting hired by Arkansas. So I'm interested to see what he does with these newfound responsibilities. Arkansas scored last season on 23 of 24 trips to the red zone. Or excuse me, this season. They have scored on 23 of 24 trips to the red zone. That's impressive. Their problem is that they're not getting to the red zone. They're second in the SEC in scoring once they get there. Their offensive problem is moving the sticks prior to that happening. So that's going to be something that I'm going to keep an eye on. Can Florida stop their momentum? Can they stop Arkansas, get them 3 and out, force them well before they get to the red zone? Because more than likely, they're not stopping Arkansas once they do get to the red zone, which is just such an interesting dichotomy. when you think about Arkansas's offense. Okay, so we talked about this a little bit with Josh too, but Florida is wearing black uniforms for the first time ever to honor members of our armed forces, veterans, local first responders. This is really neat. I think that, Billy Napier cares a lot about veterans. He not only has wanted to do this so that they can auction the jerseys off, they're going to auction the helmets, I think, are on sale right now for about $550. And all of those things are going to raise money for veterans organizations. But something that I think is even cooler than the money being raised is that Billy Napier is taking this week to really help his players understand and appreciate our veterans. He took them to the VA hospital in Gainesville. They spent time talking to veterans that are there receiving treatments. We actually had some people comment on some of our earlier videos this week that they met Florida players while at the VA hospital. So I really think this is one of your put your money where your mouth is kind of things. Billy Napier cares about our football team understanding what veterans do for this country, not just allowing the jersey to be auctioned off so that these organizations get money. He actually wants our team to fully understand the sacrifices that our men and women in uniform make to keep our country safe. And I just think that is really, really cool. Some interesting news and notes on this game. Florida is 4-0 at Florida Field this season and have won 6 straight dating back to last year. Florida has scored in 444 consecutive games, which is an NCAA record that began in 1988. I see I have a super chat from Daryl and from Terry. I appreciate both of you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and go Gators. All right, it is that time of night where I tell you guys what I want to see. What important things I think we need to pull out a victory. First and foremost, Florida has to start quick. We did start quick against Georgia, but we just couldn't sustain it. We were outmanned. Florida needs to come out the gate and score. If they can score on their first possession, that would be huge. The Gators are not really built to come from behind. We want this to kind of turn into a track meet, which normally I sit in this chair and I tell you we can't get into a track meet. But with this Arkansas offense, that's exactly what we want. We want them to have to match us point for point. So Florida's going to need to come out of the gate quick. What else do I want to see? I want to see us continue to be aggressive. But let's not get cute with it, okay? Like last week, 4th down. It's a good call to go for it. I am totally behind the scared money don't make money. I am good with us being aggressive. I just didn't love the play call. If you're going to put yourself out there, if you're going to be aggressive, pick the plays with the best chance of success. I don't think that's what happened last week. And so I need that play calling to get better specifically in those risky situations. Special teams. For the love of God, can we go a full game with no errors? I want to see 11 men on the field the entire time. I want to see everybody blocking the person they're supposed to block. I want to see everybody knowing their own assignment. This might be the biggest ask of the night from me, but I need to see our special teams play mistake-free. I'm also going to need to see us limit explosive plays from KJ Jefferson. We just had Josh Teeter on, and he talked about the fact that KJ Jefferson just has not had the season that he was expected to have this year. He was great last year. People thought he was going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the conference returning, and he just hasn't been great. But he always has the potential to be great. He is an incredible athlete. He has shown flashes of brilliance in the past. He's put together amazing games in the past. Don't let Saturday be the time he puts it together this season. They have got to limit explosive plays. The last thing I want to see is somebody in the linebacking core stepping up for Shamar James. Shamar James, as I mentioned earlier, is out for the rest of the year. He had knee surgery on Wednesday, and he is a big hole to fill in that defense. James has been one of the vocal leaders for our team this season. He is our leading tackler. He has done an incredible job on this defense. Somebody is going to need to pick up the slack. Is it going to be Derek Wingo? Is it going to be Manny Nunnery? We don't know who the person is that's going to step in and fill his shoes, but it is definitely going to need to be somebody if Florida is going to win this game. All right, it is time to make a prediction, but first I want to give some love to Meldon Law. They are the official injury reform firm of the Florida Gators, and they should also be your official injury firm as well. Hopefully, you are not injured anytime soon. I would never wish that on any of y'all, but if you're hurt or you're injured in any sort of accident, let Meldon Law take care of you. They have offices in Ocala, in Gainesville, in Lake City. So if Meldon Law can be of assistance, connect with them on social media. Let them help you in your time of need. They are the official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Gators support Gators. I am actually going to be at their tent on Saturday before the game this weekend. So swing by if you're in town. Come say hi. They have the most fun tent out there. They've got a prize wheel. They're giving things away. The music is playing. It is directly in front of the stadium and the O'Connell Center. Great vibes, great atmosphere. Come out, check them out. Come say hi to me. It's going to be a really good time. All right, it is that time. Drum roll, please. It is time for our predictions on this show. I'm going to go with Florida 27, Arkansas 21. I think we score some points, and I think we become bowl eligible. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. I have a massive goal of getting 10,000 subscribers before the Florida State game. It is such a lofty goal, but I know you guys can help me get there. So if you watch these videos and you haven't subscribed, please do it. Go ahead and hit that button right now. It really helps me out. It's a great way to show love for the channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope to see you on Saturday at the Meldon Law tent. Go Gators!